right, hold your spear. Make it cook sand, food to eat there. The lights flash you, new heights relax you. Vegas spinning jerk jackfruit, expert tactic. All with the dirt is that bit in there, all with your nerves is. Fuck a mask face beard and kick with your fear. Power look and reflects, you check the mirror. That's most requested. Farmers doing domestic. Keep it clean, sitting from where the light beams. Sight saw good for scenes. Walker like a dog, picture your dreams. A lot of shit fell, but yet not as sick as it seems. I was stitched from these scenes. The way he spoke, face approach. That you stay floating, dope, double cups, raised up on my
Peace, 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 family, peace, family. I was trying to play some music on the Bluetooth, but it didn't connect. What's really good? Shashat, Patrice was goody. How you doing? Peace to the family on this Friday. Is it Friday? It's Friday evening. Wherever you are around the world, whatever planet you on, whatever state you in, remember, state is state of mind. So you could be in a Miami state of mind. You could be in a Chicago state of mind. You could be in a New York state of mind. You could be in a Hollywood state of mind. But you could be in Boise, Idaho. Oh, you in it? You getting paid while you getting this cloth? Isn't life good? You know what I'm talking about? You could be at work and get this cloth. Life is good. You know, that's a double bonus. Strong Island in the building. Yeah, shout out to Shaolin. Shout out to Shaolin. Just for giving us Wu-Tang, y'all legends. Just for the Wu-Tang contribution, that's a tax write-off. You know, Shaolin in the building. I'm in an area where it's mad trees still on the road. It's mad trees falling where I'm at. You feel me? Whatever happened on Tuesday, remember, Tuesday was the moon, right? Let's talk moon magic. Let's talk moon, the casualties of moon warfare. Let's talk lunatics on lunacy time, right? Let's talk about that. Because the power of the moon has shit blowing up all around the world. The power of that moon had a tornado sweep through New England, right? You got to understand. Nobody on the Weather Channel said anything about it. It wasn't even forecasted on my cell phone. You know what I'm talking about? Remember, we live in a corporation. We live in a business. They would not miss the opportunity to tell customers to buy everything in Walmart, Whole Foods, ShopRite, and any other store that's out here slinging groceries. They didn't tell nobody nothing. They didn't tell nobody to prepare for anything. They didn't tell a soul a thing. They just said that the tropical depression is finna come up the coast. And this thing done came through this motherfucker and it done tore trees and flung them like they flowers. Right? What I saw and what it felt like spiritually, because remember, these are ancient trees, one of the last remnants of something ancient here, right? Connected to the earth, but also connected to the heavens, as above, so below. It's the ultimate ladder. These trees represent the tree of life. These trees are our ancestors. If they bury one of us, or if they bury somebody's far enough into the forest, rumor has it they'll turn into a tree. So the trees are also heavily featured in all things magic. Where do you think the hollow wood comes from? Right? Where do you think the hollow wood comes from? Where do you think all of the magical systems, they're all tree based. They all have something to do with sticks. They always have something to do with the forest, right? They always have something to do with the flora, right? You can't get anything popping without the components of the forest or the tree. You need them roots. You need them herbs. Them sticks that you putting in that pot. It's all stick magic, right? Then you see Hollywood. That's stick magic. Hollywood. That's stick magic. That's the tree. Then, for those of us who know that the pen is mightier than the sword, we know the power of the parchment paper. We know the power. We all know the power of paper. We don't have to be wise men with gray hair to know the power of paper, right? Also a component of this magical tree. We call it a tree, but look at it as a living organism. It is an actual living organism that absorbs energies. Remember, the trees, if the trees could talk, what would they say? There's trees in the south that ancestors swung from. There's trees up north that ancestors, and not just on some horrific, but they witnessed the slaughter of the Indians or the Aboriginal, indigenous, natives. Shout out to 19 Keys in the building. They witnessed these things. The trees outside like trees. Like the young God says, outside like trees. The trees are the most ancient, not the most ancient, because when I drive through these areas, it's a mountainous region. So there's mounds all around me. There's mountains all around me. There's trees all around me. There's nature, right? But the trees being uprooted, they're still laying in the street like bodies. They have police quartered. There's whole entire blocks that are cordoned off with police cars and yellow tape, like there's bodies, and there's trees laid out on the concrete, sprawled out from the storm that just happened on Tuesday. And the storm, I was on live. I was doing Melanin Tuesdays. I did an early show. As I'm doing the show, the storm is happening. I'm like, damn. I'm just thinking it is raining. It's a torrential rainfall. Come to find out, it was a torrential tornado, and it tore trees. I'm talking about the people that's out here said that they haven't seen such damage in such a short amount of time. But it was in perfect alignment with the moon. And on the same show, I believe, I did a live the Monday, and I spoke about the moon, and I said, look for an explosion, right? Because there's a powder keg of an alignment with Mars, right? With Uranus, with Pluto, with Saturn. And it's bound to pop. And sure enough, not just in Beirut, right? I put the picture up on my page today. Let me show you. Not just in Beirut, right? Because the conspiratorials will say why that they were explosions, right? But I'm having a conversation that's a little bit above that canopy. We're not dealing with the why. We're dealing with the as above, so below principle, that it was predicted, right? That it was written based off of what the moon was dictating. And we broke it down just based off of what that moon has many different names to it. But just based off of the fact we're in the dog days of summer, and the energy that moon, I don't know how many people have witnessed some crazy shit this week, or have seen, or were co-stars in an action film. But the energy on this planet kind of crazy this week. Energy been kind of explosive this week, bruh. I got some stories. You know what I'm talking about? You know. So, all within the last 24, whatever, these things have occurred. The energy that I was speaking of on Monday was the warrior, right? That's Aries. Okay? That's that my son, my newborn, Aries. That warrior energy. Very strong, very aggressive, you know, very explosive, very fiery, right? And then you have the moon in Aquarius, the rebel, right? So FB in Chicago, right? In Chicago, in Chirac, which is one of the most, a very magical pillar alongside Detroit. You know, the birth of the one of the birthplaces of the consciousness that we are emanating and resonating, you know, and tapped into at the present moment. You know, a place where there is whatchamacallit, an ongoing conflict. This ongoing conflict is a battery that fuels global conflict right now. They're drilling in the UK. They're drilling in Ireland. They're drilling in Brooklyn. They're drilling in the 90s. They're drilling in the they're drilling in Marcus Garvey, right? Marcus Garvey in the Ville. They're drilling in the Flossie. They're drilling in Ebbetsfield. They're drilling in the Sty. You feel me? They're drilling in the Bronx. So it's been fed. It was birth, right? You know, we study points of origin. You know what I'm talking about? We study the points of origin. So points of origin point to this conflict that was taking place with O Block and they ops. And it played out this week with the murder of a very prominent figure in that war. This is this is like a Coney. Remember Invisible Children with Coney? Remember Coney 2012? That was a ill ritual, by the way. I get into that in my Fear of a Blackamoor Messiah series, which is why we are here tonight, because that's the same series that I'm going to be bringing as the new installment to Atlanta on August 30th, right? And this installment is entitled Judas in the Blackamoor Messiah, right? Black August, okay? Red Pillar, Know the Ledge. This will be a live stream event, but this will definitely be a live lecture. Don't bring your mask. You know what I'm talking about? Mask off. You know. Yeah, Red Summer. So we're going to talk about, you know, because people don't know what Black August is, right? People don't really know what Black August is. So Black August is the celebration of the freedom fighters, man like Fred Hampton, right? Henceforth, the perfect timing of the release of the trailer entitled Judas and the Messiah. Not the Blackamoor Messiah, the Messiah. I don't even think it said the Black Messiah. It just said did it say the Black Messiah or did it say the Messiah? But this is the Blackamoor Messiah. Okay? Which is in a, you know, in continuity or the continuation of a conversation and a narrative that was started on October the 10th, 2016. 10/10/2016. Let me see something. Give me 1 second. Because I got archives. Yeah, this is a classic. I promise you. And I'm not a horn tooter, but I'm prominently what's the word? I'm a passion economy connoisseur at this point. So I understand in this new economy, this passion economy, the things that you are passionate about, the things that you are known for, the uniqueness of who you are, regardless of if people like it or not, the uniqueness of what you bring, right, to the table, into the world, you know, the uniqueness of your story, right? Because only you have your story. Nobody else's does. You know, everybody has their own role. Everybody has their own origin story. Everybody has their own entry into the movie. You know what I'm talking about? Everybody has a role. This is all a movie. So in this new economy, the passion economy, and also the hustle economy, which has replaced the gig economy. Don't run with my cloth. I got alarms on it. Talk black to me. These economies have metamorphed in a post-COVID world where the things that people was getting money for before in the gig economy, like Uber, Airbnb, shit like that, that's not popping no more. The traditional way of getting to the bag, that's not popping no more. That 9-to-5 lifestyle where niggas was saving up to 401k, no, my friend, that's not where it's at right now. You know what I'm talking about? That's one of them cruise ships that got COVID-19 on it and can't even dock. You in a sinking ship, bruh. So there's multiple new economic models. 19 Keys teaches about it in the Market Keys. Derek Grace teaches about it in the Post-Trump. Brother Ben X teaches about it in the digital real estate. Red Pill and Billionaire PA talk about it in the Healthy and Wealthy 4-week course. Talk black to me. Yeah, we already did it. The one that we did last week, that was a home run. Talk black to me. Slam dunk. Yes. You know. So the models are being given to those who are willing to receive, and the ones who make the proper, steps that it takes. Because this ain't like Zelda. It's not a maze, but it's just steps that you have to take to get into the building. You know what I'm talking about? And for the people who make those steps and do it and make those moves, welcome to the party. You know what I'm talking about? Rise in power, pop smoke. Yeah, welcome to the party. And I'm off the sea moss instead of the Henny and Lean. I'm off the sea moss and CBD. Yeah. So the more you stay alive, the better the movie gets. Okay? The longer you niggas manage to stay alive, the better this motherfucking movie gets. Okay? And we need to find out who we could fucking thank at the end of the fiscal. Because somebody needs their hand shooken. There's a lot of success stories happening when it was not supposed to happen like this. There's a lot of people who are not experiencing the perils of poverty anymore, and they didn't wake up like this. People is hitting licks and lives are changing. Businesses are coming up. Brands are exploding exponentially. I'm talking about the average Medea family at this point is out here getting LLCs, got something online that they selling, a digital product. The shift has taken place. The evolution will be digitized. Food, art, clothing, technology, shelter is the order of the day. But on top of that, they fear the blackamoor messiahs because of the threat that they fear a black planet. But they don't realize that they're in too deep. The deep state, the deep web, the deep space, the deep mind, that's AI. And they're in some deep shit because the ancestors on their way back. I don't know what you niggas talking about. Like I said, stick around, Johnny. You know what I mean? Hang around, my niggas. It gets better later. It gets greater later. The longer you stay alive, the better this shit gets. Am I lying or am I fucking flying? I don't have nothing to complain about, bruh. This shit is lit. These niggas want to convert everybody to vegans. This shit is lit, man. Be happy with the numbers that you got. Count your fucking blessings. Niggas, say your Hail Marys and do something. You know what I mean? How much more could we ask for? It's lit. It's people riding around in Lambo trucks off of a PPP check, nigga. What are we talking about? And you know what I mean? Like, what's the conversation? People are creating wealth with their minds. I don't want to get into it. I just want to talk about the symbolism of it all, the synchronicity of it all. So we went through a summer, a red summer, a hot summer, a summer where people were on fire and they were ignited and they were turned up and they were ready to get on their militant, right? Black August shit. They had their fist in the air. Black is king, right? They were like, look, black power, Stokely Carmichael. Because even with Bill Clinton invoking his name, you got to remember how you got to remember how the magic works. This is Black Magic Matters. Shout out to Panic. Black Magic Matters. When you invoke the ancestor's name, and even if he did it in a disrespectful way, he still spoke it. Right? What do they say in the tradition? Speak my name forever. To keep, that's how you honor your ancestors. Once you stop saying their names, then you've dishonored them. Speak my name. When you say my name, it's on some Candyman shit. Keep saying it. Right? So now people are on Google going to find out who the fuck is this Stokely Carmichael. Oh my goodness. And then they're seeing something that they need to see. This is all chaos magic. You can't control it. This is the stock market. If you niggas can't figure the stock market out, don't think that you can figure this shit out. You know what I'm talking about? Because this is quantum. This whole thing is, but you could figure this out more than you could figure out the stock market. Let me rephrase that. Yeah. You could figure this shit out about 100. If you niggas is wicked on Forex, if you killing the candlesticks and you know when it's below the green line, I'm not going to get into all of that. But if you know how to finagle the micro, then it's only prepping you for the macro. Like I said, as above, so below. So the aspect of what we represent as the twin pillars is that we give you both sides of the spectrum. We have to stay honorable to our contracts. So when you tap in to the KTL and the ATL on the 30th, you're going to get the information from the Blackamoor Messiah angle, but you also going to get a very spiritual uplifting download that's going to take you where you need to go. Because like I said, this is the dog days of the summer. This is the red summer. You know what I'm talking about? These are the dog days. This is serious rising. When you saw those explosions, you should have been like, hallelujah. I mean, I hope no one was harmed in those things, but I mean the symbolism of it all. The symbolism of it all. You know, look for me in the whirlwind. Listen to Garvey, not Steve Harvey. You know what I mean? He told you think like a woman. And that's no offense to the ladies out there. But you know what I'm speaking of. I'm speaking to the alphas. You're not a dancing lion. This is not Madagascar. This is Leo season. Nigga, roar. You know, that part. So you gotta stand up. You have to have some testicular fortitude. This is the fucking season. This is the dog days. This is the Jason months. We can't get caught slipping. It can happen to the best of us. So the energy on this planet right now is, you know, it's an energy that is it could be utilized for a lot of good things, right? Wonderful things. This is August. Look, we're going to be in Jacksonville. Let me pull this up. This is how the ritual starts. Because tomorrow is the Lion's Gate. Now I'm talking about, and I don't have to get into it and tell you all of my plans and whatnot about what I'm doing with my spacesuit. But I'm tapping in. I'm taking off, right? For all of the people that want to sign up to the 4-week course, you know, we're going to have that for you. Me and Billy, Billionaire, PA. Shout out to Billionaire. Shout out to all of the shifters. Make sure y'all go see that show that I did yesterday. Blue Pill was a special guest on this episode. This was a magical episode. We did a Sabi tribute. You know, I read from this monumental book right here. I have a chapter dedicated to me called, is it Finding Philip? Let me see real quick. The story of Phil, right? I think I'm going to make this a blog. I think I'm going to make this a podcast. The story of Phil. And just tell my whole story on a podcast and bring people on who got the receipts. So we could really get this, you know, this. Because you got to tell your story, bro. There's nothing more important while you're here. You're having these experiences. I can't tell everybody what to do. But like I said, I am a passionate student in the academy of the passion economy. And I'm understanding what this whole new economy is about. And it's a very exciting economy, bro. This is a very exciting time to be a creative, a creator. All right. So in Jacksonville, Florida, right? I should have hit the brother up so we could have went live, but it's 2 a.m. But in Jacksonville, Florida, on 2 days, Sunday and Saturday, the 15th and the 16th, in Jacksonville, on one of the first black beaches, right, called American Beach. Go and look it up, right? We're going to be paying tribute to our one of the icons, the Holy Trinity of this whole thing, Marcus Mosiah Garvey, you know, a brother whose energy and whose spirit I channel. You know, I keep his name alive by putting him on clothing, you know, the finest of threads and whatnot. And, you know, I'm living the principles of Garveyism in so many ways, you know. And that man, his teachings have a very dear spot in my whole edification, my you know, my growth and development. You know, this is how you tether yourself to the greats. You know what I'm saying? This is how you tie yourself to the great ones. You know, you could tie yourself to the greats through cotton. I'm giving you some secrets. You could tie yourself through the cotton and through other means, you know. But he's been good to me. Marcus Garvey has been very good to me. You know, he gives thanks to, for keeping his name alive, for holding up his standards, for basically standing up and really being on the front lines for this RBG movement. You know what I'm saying? Throughout my run, throughout my time, throughout my years, throughout my whole station, because that's what I was surrounded by. Dr. Jack Felder, House of Consciousness. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't just Brother Sinetta. It's definitely, he's the figurehead, but it was an intricate body of different people who played a big part. Julian X, Monk, Rising Power. All of these people are not here with us, And then we have the brothers that are still here. Brother Sutek, who I just saw in Atlanta when I was out there. Shout out to Sutek and his son. They have a wonderful podcast. Shout out to Black Dot and his son. They have a wonderful, exceptional podcast too. So, Brother Diallo Sekou out of Jacksonville, he's the promoter. We're going to be having a conscious camp out. You could come and pitch your tent on the beach. We're going to be giving it up to the ocean, to Oya. We're going to be doing, we're going to have healing plants in our tent. We're going to be tapping in. That's all I know. So, it's free. And it's open to all. And it's gonna be nice. A lot of us need to get in the water. I know I do. I was in Miami about a month ago with Keys, Bashir, Blue, and a few other people, and it was a great experience. That water felt life-changing. It washed away my sins, my dead skin, all of that, the energy. So, it's back to the coast, it's back to the beach, and if y'all pulling up, just let us know so we can make some accommodations. And there's gonna be a live stream available as well. So just look out for that. The salt pulls all that out. Yeah, you already know. We're gonna have paradise moss. Hold on. Where the mossy at? We had a paradise moss out there. You know what I'm talking about? Let me see. Come and taste some new flavors. We'll have some paradise moss out there. We have it in gel form, and we also have it in the drink form, the beverage form. So come and get a taste of the paradise moss. Yeah. Come pull up. Oh my goodness! If Bella is there, that would mean the world. That'd mean the world to me. That's a super duper look right there. I would love for that. I just want the family to definitely enjoy themselves. There haven't been many festivals this year. They canceled a lot of the festivals. The festivals were people's charging up stations. The festivals were a ritual because, hey, what's up, Bella? Daddy loves you. What up, mama? The festivals were places where we would go to and we would link up with people and network. We would find out all of the news about stuff that, you know, that was going on around the globe, because at the festivals, it's a global family, right? People have met their wives there, you know, women have met their boyfriends, you know, and all of that. So when we socialize as a people, especially under the canopy of commerce, that's a very good thing. And under the canopy of commerce is the canopy of culture, going back to Marcus Garvey, right? What he taught us about with being not just self-made, but self-sustained. So you utilize the culture. Marcus Garvey brought us STEAMs: science, technology, engineering, art, mathematics. He brought us the STEAM program, and then they went and made that the STEM, but it came out of Garvey. It came from Garvey. So Garvey was a proponent of crowdsourcing and crowdfunding. So he's like, come together and raise money when you come together, which was one of the, if I was critiquing everything that took place this summer with the protests and the marches, you know, that was centered around George Floyd, who they leaked the video the other day to show the actual incident, right? And when people saw that, they said that, I didn't see the video. I don't even know what's going on in the video at the moment. But the people who saw the video, they came back and told me, and these are reliable sources, that if people saw that video, that what we saw this summer would never had occurred, right? So I was like, okay, that's a suggestive, you know, statement. At this point, that can only be speculative. It can't be any fact. It can only be speculative at this point, because it has already happened. So my biggest critique was all of the people came together, but there was no crowdfunding initiative. There was no urgency to crowdfund whilst those people were in your presence, or while you were 10,000 deep, 100,000 deep, 500,000 deep, and you was like, look, we all want to come together and make something change, right? Because the way they set this farm up, or the way they set this I don't know, matrix, the way that they set it up, the sheep is going to go back to sleep, and they're going to forget that this ever happened, right? That's how deep of a sleep they are putting people in with, you know, the opiates of Americana. Let me write that down. Give me one moment. I'm having a moment. The opiates, right, of Americana. And one of those opiates is a very strong opiate. And that opiate is the NBA. Okay? And then the other opiate is the NFL. Right? Then there's a stronger opiate called rap music. Nicki Minaj, Cardi B, Meg, you know, City Girls, Rick Ross, Titty Boy. You know what I'm talking about? Those are opiates of Americana. We love our opiates. Ooh, it puts me on a lean. I be like this. Ooh, give me more. Like the most famous dope fiend that any of you know. Because there's a few of them. Pick a few. Pick a few. I'm laid out just like them on these opiates. Right? With a wet ass pussy. Oh, I'm sorry. Cat. So we got to understand that we are being distracted. We are being lulled to sleep. We are being, quote unquote, hoodwinked. We are being put in a place where we are being compromised by folly most of the times. And the important things that really mean something, we are doing what? Putting that to the back burner. And to me, what's important right now is that the family who are about that Garvey life, or who are about building, or who are about nation building, who are about the principles. It doesn't have to be every single principle of Pan-Africanism while you're living in America. You know what I mean? Wrapped up in flags and whatnot. Enjoying what is known as the opiates of America. Central air, AC, free, driving off the car lot with a certain credit score. Endless options of consumerism, of food items, right? Endless hours of sports and entertainment. Endless channels on cable. I mean, it's a long tail. It almost is endless, Then you have the internet with numerous websites. And don't be one of the people who have access to the dark or the deep web, because theoretically, on a numerical scale, the internet that me and you and Joe Public knows is considered to be 10% of the known web, or what they call the World Wide Web. We are only visible, only 10%, the same way that the light that you see is only 10% or 7% is what you're able to comprehend, right? Case in point, the psilocybins, right, and other type of plant-based medicine has the ability to improve your percentage, meaning that your aperture, remember, the world or consciousness is all aperture based. The wider your eyes, or the wider the aperture can open up, the more light you'll be able to receive. The more light that you're able to receive, you're going to see the world, and you're going to experience the world, and you're going to live in a completely different world from someone who cannot see the light. This is a user-based experience reality. Everybody is having their own experience. Everything is user-based. It's almost like a computer video game. You cannot live the same life that I'm living. You can't have the same experiences that I'm having. It doesn't matter if we share likeness. It doesn't matter if we share the same space. You know what I'm talking about? It don't even matter if we share the same clothes. Right? It's user-based. This is all a user-based experience. So based off of the decisions that one makes, based off of the moves that one makes, based off of the action that one takes, there's going to be a reaction. It is only right. And it is only the math. That's how this whole thing goes. For every action, there's a reaction. For every cause, there's an effect. Then there's a defect. So we get caught up in the effects most of the time, and that's called reaction. That's being reactive. And as you can see in hindsight, all of the people coming together, all of the energy that they exerted, all of the rebel rousing and everything got you painted sidewalks, right? You got you some painted sidewalks, and a bill that got passed that man like Bill could wear heels at work. That's all you got out of all of the hoopla and a lot of the stuff that was going on in that space. Because for other people, Corona rising, they tapped into the energy, and they did something that an alchemist would do to any energy. You know what I mean? They cooked it. And they're thriving still. But there's a contingency of our people who exerted a lot of energy and didn't get back anything for their exertion. They should have been centers opened up. There should have been brick and mortars that were snatched up. There should have been rental property, commercial property. There should have been real estate that was allocated. There should be security forces that are black owned. Garvey had a boat in the 1900s. He had a ship, a cruise liner, which was the equivalent to having 2 G, 4, and 5 Gulfstream jets today. And he did that with the people, right? He did that through Kickstarter of his day. He was crowdfunding. He was tapping into equity. He was tapping into the labor force. Micro loans, or what was known as like micro shares. He was teaching you about equity because he was giving you shares of the company. He created a communication system with his publications, right? So, riddle me this. This is what I don't understand. Help me out with this, guys. Okay? There's a lot of hoopla taking place right now on Beyonce's internet, right? And on Black Twitter. And what they're saying is that the fact that Fred Hampton is being played by homie from Get Out. He's not an ADOS, right? And then Judas, this movie that I'm talking about, Judas and the Black Messiah, right? Which is going to be the story about the assassination of Fred Hampton, who was crossed by an agent. An agent in a COINTELPRO operation against a conscious organization that were moving and connecting with the people, right? That was a threat because of the messianic force or the messianic potential or the potentiality that a man like Fred Hampton, who had the messianic ability to connect all races, backgrounds. He spoke the language of many nations, many men. He was a general that was a threat, and he was annihilated and eradicated in a way that is almost reminiscent of how the Jesuit priests or the inquisitors or the crusaders, you know what I'm talking about, was coming after the gods, right? You got to pay attention to what's taking place. So the Judas is played by an ADOS, my guy from Sorry to Bother You. And Fred Hampton is homie from Get Out. And obviously, Black Twitter's not feeling him because of some shit he said in the past. And the fact that he's not ADOS. Niggas is, the ADOS is, you know, they pulling up in the ADOS wagon. So my thing is this. This is Black August, right? It's the year, calendar year 2020. And nobody has made a movie about George Jackson. Nobody made a movie about his brother. Nobody made a movie about none of the Black Guerrilla Army family. We don't know about Jonathan Jackson. We don't know about George Jackson. We don't know about Soledad Brothers. But we know about Iceberg Slim. And this is where I say that our people have to begin to take a lot more responsibility. You mean to tell me when you niggas was putting out those 800 drug dealer movies, those 900 pimp movies, those 30 those 30 DVDs that are classics in the hood that talked about all of the kingpin drug dealers who decimated a solid foundation of a solid black a solid neighborhoods on the way to fucking becoming Wakanda, or a place where the Huxtables would move into. You know, we were striving to all be a part of Strivers Row. We were striving in certain neighborhoods on an upward mobility climb. We was moving on up, right? When I visited LA and I went in Ingleton, and when we went in South Central and I saw how all of those houses were laid out in the beautifulness in these neighborhoods that are basically killing fields and shooting galleries and whatnot. You know what I'm talking about? And killing fields. It broke my heart. It destroyed me because I'm like, damn, these are some fly homeowners who were middle class, you know, coloreds or Negroes, and then they became blacks and whatnot, and their children, you know, got caught up in a tribal war, a rites of passage, a way of life that we was going through on the East Coast. I'm not judging. Niggas be bang bang. And then we was gang gang. We was a posse. Y'all, they was gang gang. We was posses. The posse I was in was called MGP, Mean Guy Posse. Then up the block it was SMP. Then CMP, who we had drama with, because you always got to have an adversary, because this is about the protagonist and the antagonist. When you find yourself in these type of situations, you have nothing to fear, my nigga. You're in the movie. You know what I'm talking about? It's the natural way of life. There's always going to be a protagonist and an antagonist. You're always going to have co-conspirators. There's always going to be a set in the story of the hero's journey. If you're Heru, they're always going to have to be. You're always going to have a Judas. You're always going to have a cipher in the cipher. And when they identify yourself, it's your job to identify them and eradicate them. Press delete. You take them off of the motherfucking, you wipe them off of the code. And then you move to the next level. And then you level up. And you never turn back, because everybody gets turned into salt at that point. That's how this thing works. It's not that simple, but, you know, it has this simplicity. God Hop Renaissance. Yes, indeed. Shout out to all of the God Hop artists that are saving music right now. Cambada. Shout out to Cindian and AA Rashid. I saw them on Black Dot's podcast, Urban X TV. Make sure y'all subscribe to Black Dot and his son Malcolm and support that man. That is a pioneer of the conscious community and consciousness that's decoding a whole bunch of stuff. You know. And he's showing you the Garvey principles, right? So, yeah. It's a wonderful, the sister Sarak. I cannot forget Sarak. The brother Cambada. Red and Blue Pill, right? What we cooking up is going to be that song 24 Hours on the Cambada album featuring Red Pill. Yeah, that's going brazy right now. I'm getting a lot of inboxes. Hold on, let me even pull something up so it's not me out here playing I'm not in the horn instrumental, the horn section tooting my own. But you know, I always have to inform the people when there's good news. And there is good news, because I have a hot 16, you know, and the family is loving it. And it's called 24 Hours. And there you go. I played 24 hours like 20 times in a row. That song made me shed a tear, especially Red Pill's verse, right? So I gotta, you always gotta keep the people updated to good news, because that's good news to me, That means a lot to me as an artist. I'm sensitive about my shit, right? Excuse me, I'm sorry. I'm gonna shut up. I don't want to curse on my daughter. But somebody said that it's cut off. You know what it says. It says that the song is lit, my friend. Go and stream it, okay? Go and take you a fat doobie to the head. Sip on some wine if that's not what you do. If you're just a breatharian, well then get to breathing. Know what I'm talking about? Go on your Spotify, on your Apple or whatnot, wherever you with Jay-Z, you with The Rock, you on Tidal. Go put 24 and then hours. Instead of H, it's a OURS, and just stream it like how the young kids do. Just stream it, let it play. You're not gonna hear every bar on the first take. Let it do the repeat. It sonically, it has a replay value to it. Okay, you could do a little bit of yoga. You could stretch out those yoga pants, that Lululemon. I don't know. You could do the downward doggy. You could do some push-ups, fellas. Work on those pecs. I myself am gonna take my advice. You do some jumping jacks, whatever it is. Just stream the music. Tap into the sonic aspect of the passion industry. You know what I mean? Passion. Keyword passion. Right? I'm out of here though. Go and get the tickets for the Black August. It's in the link in the bio. Love and light to the family. I love you, Bella. All right. Peace, y'all.